And joining us now is Tobin Marcus, head of U.S. policy and politics at Wolfe Research. Probably be easy. I read a lot of conjecture this morning. The Journal's editorial board, everybody weighed in on what they actually witnessed. How would you summarize it for me, Tobin? I'm not going to put words in your mouth. To summarize what the if you had to do it as let's say you were an AI program. And someone said, what happened at the debate last night? What would AI spit out? If it was not biased AI, which I see everywhere, but let's say it was normal, unbiased AI.
Sure. I think you have to say that Harris won. I think she did a much more effective job at drawing contrast against Trump than she did about answering the questions about her own agenda. So, sort of net strong performance for her, looked presidential, drew the distinctions that she wanted to draw. But I think a lot of questions still outstanding for swing voters about exactly what's going on with her aggressive pivot to the center and the extent to which she can be relied upon to govern as a pragmatic moderate. And Trump, Trump was Trump, as he usually is. I think he took the bait a lot. He missed a lot of opportunities to go after Harris. I think that's sort of the big cost of going into these rabbit holes, is that he just missed a lot of layups on things that he clearly intended to hit her on coming into the debate, but did not consistently maintain focus on.
Because that would be the criticism. It gets tiresome to blame the messenger and to blame the moderators. But then again, I just think there's no doubt that they did not press. Did they have no interest in trying to find out about what you just mentioned, the switch from some of those positions back to where they were? They didn't make her answer those questions. And then the bad thing is that Trump didn't do it either. He had plenty of opportunities. That could have been the first thing he said was, I just asked you about why you left the tariffs on, and you started talking about, I can't remember what you came up with, but it was a total, there were so many non sequiturs, and David Muir sat there just picking his nose.
She did press him on things.
She did, but he could have done it, but so could the moderators had no interest in doing that, Tobin.
Well, that's the thing about complaining about the refs, is that ultimately the candidates have a lot of agency, and it was up to him to prosecute that case. That's one of the, there were lots of failures that went on in the Biden performance in the first debate, but among others, he did not go after Trump for the things that he wanted to hold him to account for. So, they both dodged a whole lot of questions, both during the debate and then in the spin room when he appeared afterwards. The reporters kept trying to get Trump to give a direct answer to the question of whether he would veto a national abortion ban if one hit his desk. So they were, ducking, diving, and dodging all throughout. That works at a performance level for Harris. I do think that voters still have whatever questions they have. Even if you can manage to get off the debate stage without getting held to account on that, you still haven't filled in the blank. So, that I think is the weak spot in her performance. There will be lots of voters who looked at this and say, look, I did prefer her to Trump. I have lots of concerns about Trump, but ultimately I still have the same questions about her, which is, what's she really going to do, and what does she stand for, and where have these pivots come from? But I think from an actual policy perspective, it's important to remember she's probably not going to have unified Democratic control. So her plans are all well and good. I think her housing plan has some merit to it. But what's going to actually happen next year is whatever she can get through Congress or whatever she can do with executive authority, which does not include a lot of what she's proposing.